G'day, it's fugitive Australian journalist Shane Dowling from the website and YouTube channel Kangaroo Court of Australia. Now, whistleblowers David McBride and Richard Boyle have had movement in their court cases during the week. I've just published an article on it, and I'll read that article out now. And the article's titled, Prime Minister Anthony Albanese and Labor continue to persecute whistleblowers David McBride and Richard Boyle. Why? And the article starts off, ATO whistleblower Richard Boyle was forced to plead guilty on Tuesday the 27th of May 2025 after the Albanese government failed for 3 years to pass legislation for whistleblower protection laws and failed to withdraw the frivolous and vexatious charges against him. One day later, on Wednesday the 28th of May 2025, war crimes whistleblower David McBride had his appeal dismissed by the ACT Supreme Court. At any time, the Federal Attorney General, who until recently was Mark Dreyfus and is now Michelle Rowland, could have had the charges withdrawn against both Richard Boyle and David McBride. They decided not to. The decision to not withdraw the charges against Richard Boyle and David McBride was obviously fine with Prime Minister Anthony Albanese and the rest of the Federal Labor MPs. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese and the Federal Labor MPs will jump up and down and accuse Russia and China of wrongfully jailing Australians and denying them a fair and just trial. But when Australia's legal system persecutes and jails whistleblowers, which Albanese and Labor refuse to reform laws to protect whistleblowers, Prime Minister Anthony Albanese and the Federal Labor MP say nothing. Richard Boyle, ATO whistleblower. Richard Boyle was charged with 66 offences, but 62 charges were dropped over time, and he pleaded guilty to 4 charges after a plea deal with the prosecutors agreeing not to push for a jail sentence. ABC reported on the 27th of May 2025. He had been scheduled to stand trial later this year, after last year losing his chance to secure immunity from prosecution when the High Court refused his application for special leave to appeal. Kieran Pender from the Human Rights Law Centre called on the government to urgently reform whistleblower laws to prevent any similar prosecutions. This is a heartbreaking day for Richard Boyle and whistleblowers in Australia, he said. Prosecuting whistleblowers has a chilling effect on truth and transparency and sends a clear message to prospective whistleblowers that if you speak up, you'll face punishment. The ABC reported on the 28th of May 2025, Boyle first made a public interest disclosure within the ATO internally, revealing the agency's heavy-handed tactics. In mid-2017, while working as a debt recovery officer at the ATO's Adelaide office, he shared how agency staff across the country were instructed to take money from people's bank accounts, regardless of whether the debts raised against them by the ATO were justified or not, thereby unjustly targeting many small to medium-sized businesses. Boyle then made a complaint to the tax ombudsman before going public with his revelations in a joint Four Corners Fairfax Media, now 9 investigation. Follow-up reviews confirmed that Boyle's revelations of aggressive debt recovery practices at the ATO at the time were valid, with the Small Business Ombudsman at the time saying the agency's then treatment of small businesses was crippling. And a parliamentary report later also found that the ATO's investigation into Boyle's public interest disclosure was superficial. Boyle's home was raided after he spoke out publicly, and he spent almost a decade trying to claim protection under public interest disclosure laws. A pre-sentence hearing is set down for August, and even though the prosecutors have agreed not to push for a jail sentence, it is up to the judge. David McBride, war crimes whistleblower. War crimes whistleblower David McBride's appeal was dismissed by the ACT Supreme Court on Wednesday the 28th of May. 9 reported on the 28th of May. David McBride, who was jailed for leaking classified information about possible war crimes, will remain behind bars after losing his appeal against his sentence. He was jailed for 5 years and 8 months after pleading guilty to obtaining and disseminating classified defence information. His sentence included a non-parole period of 2 years and 3 months, meaning the 61-year-old will remain imprisoned until at least August 2026. His legal team had already flagged an appeal to the High Court if the decision didn't go his way. Human rights advocates have called for the Commonwealth to drop the prosecution and for McBride to be freed, saying his imprisonment will deter whistleblowers from coming forward. It's worth noting in October 2023, there were calls for the federal crossbench to protect whistleblowers, but Prime Minister Anthony Albanese and the Labor Party ignored them. The Sydney Morning Herald reported in October 2023, crossbench MPs have stepped up their support for whistleblowers David McBride and Richard Boyle in a bid to persuade Labor to drop court action against the two men for revealing state secrets in the name of the public interest. The move is a new sign of the demands on Prime Minister Anthony Albanese for stronger laws to protect people who go public about wrongdoing, but the MPs are warning about the glacial pace of government action. Victorian MP Helen Haines joined fellow independents including Andrew Wilkie from Tasmania, Rebecca Sharkey from South Australia and Kate Chaney from Western Australia to call for the prosecutions to be dropped and for the government to move quickly to strengthen the Public Interest Disclosure Act, which sets out the grounds for people to release information without being charged. Wilkie said Attorney General Mark Dreyfus should intervene to drop the prosecutions against the two whistleblowers, and the government should do a full rewrite of the Disclosure Act and set up a whistleblower authority to protect the release of information in the public interest. Until they do all those and other things, then the Attorney General's claim about the government being good on whistleblower protection are just hollow. It's as simple as that, he said. And I finished the article off by saying, Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has been a career politician in Canberra for 30 years, since 1996. And like a lot of career politicians in Canberra, he hates whistleblowers. Otherwise, laws protecting whistleblowers would have been passed long ago. Whistleblowers are the canary in the coal mine for corrupt governments, because governments persecute whistleblowers to intimidate other whistleblowers, not to expose government corruption. If you think Prime Minister Anthony Albanese and the Labor government are nice people, well, have a look at how they treat whistleblowers. They persecute them. They hate them. And they've set up a corrupt National Anti-Corruption Commission to hide corruption, not expose it. So you know what they're up to behind the scenes, what we don't see. And it's not for the good of Australia, it's for their own good. Anyhow, please do your bit and help us shine a light on corruption and share this video on social media. And Kangaroo Court of Australia's independent media. I publish a website and a YouTube channel, and I'm an independent journalist, and I'm 100% crowdfunded from viewers like yourself, so please support my Patreon account or PayPal account. You can donate any amount, $3, $5, $10, $15, $20, $30, $40, $50 a month, whatever suits your budget. It all helps out in a big way. Or you can do one-off donations. And for other donation options, you can go to my website and click on the donations page. And please hit the like and subscribe button and notification button. That way you get notified every time I publish a new video. Other than that, thank you for your time and have a good day.